of all. So what's the first step to take when balancing a reaction? You listen carefully, divide the reaction into two sides, whereby at the left, the right are all the elements you are seeing. This one is so simple, you don't have to be scared because the reaction is long. No, you don't have to be simple. Whereby at the left, I'm having calcium, Ca. Also, I'm having sulfur. Also, I'm having oxygen. Also, I'm having sodium, Na. And lastly, I am having nitrogen. It is simple. Just watch closely. So I'm going to take the line down at the right. You know, when you're having at your left, and also it should be the same with your right, but let's just determine it as well. Calcium, I can see first. The next I'm seeing is nitrogen. All right, so I'm going to put it at the last. I believe you are following me. Simple, all right. The next I'm seeing is oxygen. I'm going to make sure it's in the same line. All right. The next I am seeing is sodium, Na. Sodium will be here. All right. The next I am seeing is sulfur. So sulfur should be here. I believe you are following me. And also I'm seeing oxygen as well. I can't write another oxygen because we've written out the oxygen already. So what do we do to balance this reaction? It is very, very simple. First of all, the next step is to simply write all the elements, all the numbers we are having for these elements in this reaction initially before we balance it. All right. So it's very simple. Just listen carefully. So moving further, at the left, for calcium, we're having just one calcium, right? One. At the left as well for sulfur, we're having just one sulfur. Sulfur becomes one as well. At the left, let's check for oxygen. At this particular part of this compound, oxygen is 4. Listen, oxygen is 4. Whenever we have 2 elements or 3 elements or 4 elements in different sides of this reaction, because I can see oxygen in the left, also same in the left, I can see another oxygen, we're having 3. So you add them. So 4 plus 3, what's that? That's 7. So altogether, I'm having 7 oxygen atoms at the left-hand side of this reaction. I believe you understood how that 7 was gotten. Here is 4, here is 3. So plus them together, that's 7. Are you there? So at the right, okay, we are not done. Let's quickly check for sodium. At the left as well, I'm having just 1 sodium. At the left as well, I'm having just 1 nitrogen. I believe you understand. So let's do the same for the right and start balancing the reaction. Remember I said you focus on the sides with lesser numbers. All right, you start adding numbers in their front. You don't add numbers in their back. Are you there? So let's walk towards the right and write out the numbers and then compare. Let's balance it. It's very simple. So moving further, calcium in the right hand side, we are having 1 calcium as well. This 2 is not affecting. I'm going to teach you how to actually break this compound. You don't have to be scared because the compound is in a bracket. Listen carefully, be able to balance it. Simple. Calcium is not affected by these 2 because this 2 is not actually surrounding the full compound. It's just surrounding NO3. So it's not affecting calcium. Let's say the bracket was at the end, then it's going to affect it. So calcium is 1 at the right hand side. So let's check sulfur. At the right hand side, we have just 1 sulfur. This one does not have brackets. So we have just 1 sulfur. Are you there? It's very simple. So moving over to check for oxygen. Simple. How many oxygen atoms are we having in the right? Oxygen appeared in 2 parts of this compound. Oxygen appeared here and oxygen appeared in this compound bracket. So this one in a bracket, you have to be careful so you don't make any mistake. In this side, this one is simple now. We have just 4 oxygen here. So let's determine the oxygen here. So we can then at the end add it as in this part of this reaction. So we're having 4. So let's check how many oxygen here. Let us say 2 was not appearing. How many oxygen are we going to get? We are going to get just 3. But 2 here outside, it means that 2 is timesing everything inside the bracket, like in mathematics. When there's a number outside the bracket, it means that it's timesing everything. So just have that in your mind. So 2 is affecting oxygen, 2 is affecting nitrogen. So 2 times this 3 is going to be 6. So 6 oxygen we have all together in this part. So then 6 plus the 4, what's that? 10. So we have 10 oxygen at the right hand side of this reaction. I believe you are following. It's very simple. So let's check for sodium at the right. At the right we have 2 sodium. So here becomes equal to 2. Whereby nitrogen at the right as well. How many? We have it normally supposed to be 1, but because 2 was outside, so it's going to be 2 times that 1. That making a nitrogen to be 2 in general. I believe you understand how this was determined. So let us balance the reaction. And what did I tell you? Focus on the sides with lesser number. This is the side with lesser number. So let's try to now start putting numbers in front. I told you put numbers in what? In front. So as to balance the reaction. So what do we do first? So if you observe, you can see that calcium initially, the way they gave us was balanced, so we'll leave calcium first. We are still going to come back to it, but since it's just 1, 1 at both sides, we'll leave it. Sulfur is 1, 1 at both sides, we'll leave it as well. But oxygen now is 7 here. Oxygen is 10, so we have to start thinking on how we can balance oxygen, all right? So it is wise, first of all, here is a trick, all right? So when you see a compound, a question like this that has brackets in it and there is oxygen, and this oxygen appeared in like 2 sides of the reaction, I would advise you to leave oxygen first and focus on the 2 other remaining species which were not balanced, all right? So sodium is 1 here, sodium is 2 here, it's not balanced. So it's easier for me to just, work on sodium to make sure that sodium is balanced. Since sodium is 2 here, so it's best for me to put 2 here. Because you are balancing the sodium, automatically it's still balancing oxygen. I believe you understand what's happening here. So here is 2 sodium already. So making sure that sodium is already 2 and is balancing the sodium. Are you there? Let's check for nitrogen, how to balance nitrogen to make sure it's 2 as well. So do that is very simple, all right? Nitrogen, automatically the 2 I added actually balance nitrogen because 2 is affecting everything. I told you, add numbers only in the front of the compound, not like inside. You can't put 2 here and it doesn't work that way, all right? So it's going to be 2 nitrogen as well, making sure that nitrogen is balanced. So as we've done that, automatically oxygen was altered as well. So here now we're having 2 times 3, 2 times 3, 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is what? 6. 6 oxygen here. All right, here we're having 4 oxygen. Are you there? 4 oxygen. So 6. What is that? 10 oxygen. So this 7, we are going to scrap it out to make it 10. Wow. Oxygen in the right is still 10. So you can see how this reaction was actually balanced without stress. We balance this reaction. So in summary on this example, whenever you see that, not just oxygen, any elements at all, that you see that it appeared in both sides, and you see that it's not balanced, and the other ones which you need to still balance, leave that element and go to the other ones. You balancing the other ones, automatically still going to balance that one that was actually too difficult for you to think. Do you understand? So that's how it works. It's very simple. So let's get into the next practice example, which is question number 10. So you just do the remaining ones. All right, they are all simple. So here's how it works. It's simple. You divide the reaction into 2 sides, the way I just did. Then you write out the elements. We're having carbon here, we're having hydrogen here, and also we're having oxygen, CHO. We're having carbon, we're having oxygen, and also we're having hydrogen. Though we have another oxygen, but you can put it, you're already written oxygen there. Write out the elements for here, left-hand side 3, for left-hand side hydrogen 8, for left-hand side oxygen 2, all right. For the right-hand side carbon, we're having 1, just 1 carbon. For the right-hand side hydrogen, we're having 2. I believe you understand. For the right-hand side oxygen, we're having 2 here and 1 here. So 2 plus 1, that is what? 3. So you can see that the reaction is not balanced. So what do we do next? Very simple. Focus on the sides with lesser number. Focus on this side with lesser number. All right. So what do we do next? It's simple. Since we're having 3 carbon here, so it's best for me to put 3 at the front of carbon, making sure that this carbon is 3. Are you there? So you can see how the carbon at both sides of the reaction was balanced because we had 3 carbon here. Definitely, for we to balance the carbon at the right, we are supposed to add a number. No, I told you only add numbers at the front. All right. So when we do that, it has affected the carbon, so making it 3 carbon. All right. So move over to hydrogen and try to balance hydrogen. At the left, we are having 8. At the right, we are having 2. So I said focus on the sides with lower numbers. All right. So since we have 8 here, we have 2 here. So what do we add to in the front? Because hydrogen is here. So what do we add in front of hydrogen to make sure that it's still 8 we are having in the right, and it's 8 that was found at the left. So it's wise for us to put 4 in front of the water, because when we do that, it's going to be 4 times 2, and that is 8 as well. So you can see we balance hydrogen. Very simple. So let's check out for oxygen, if oxygen is balanced, because at the left we are having 2, at the right we are having 3. So what do we do? Let's check first of all, we've added numbers. So let's see if oxygen was balanced in doing all of these things. So now oxygen, we're having 3 at the front affecting oxygen. We're having 2 already. So 3 times 2, that's 6 oxygen. So 6 oxygen here. So we're having 4. 4 is affecting everything. So we're having 4 oxygen here. So 4 plus that's 6. So what is that? That's 10. Wow. So this 3 that was here is going to be changed to 10. So how do we now balance this one at the left? Simple. It is simple. We are having 2 here. So what number do you think I should add in front of opposite to make sure that it's still 10? 5. 5 times 2, that's 10. It's just for you to think and know numbers that you will need to actually put in front of this element to make sure that any reaction you are balancing is actually balanced. It's simple. It's just for you to, be calm when you are solving practice questions. So you work on question 9, you work on question 8, you work on question 5, and also work on question 6. So all these are your own practice questions. So we've come to the end of this video lesson. If you find my video lesson helpful, make sure you click on the subscribe button to my channel and also share my lessons with your friends. Thanks for watching. Are you finding it difficult to solve questions like this in the JAMB exam? Look no further. Here is the solution to that problem. Here is the chemistry masterpiece written by me, a book with detailed explanation to different topics in chemistry, specifically focusing on chemistry calculations and as well as those key informations you need in the JAMB chemistry exam. For every topic you read, there are practice questions at the beginning of each topics in the chemistry masterpiece to actually test your knowledge on that particular topic you are studying. For more information getting the chemistry masterpiece, do well to direct message me via my WhatsApp number. It will be here on the screen.